My name is Mark Storr, Field Tech Service Rep here in Iowa in District 103 and part of District 104. And I'm here in Webster County, Iowa with a grower by the name of Brad Eslick. And this is a special project that we've set up here this year in our Get the Most trial, where we're trying to look at maximizing yield with maximum inputs. And basically Brad works with the Iowa Soybean Association, which is a large grower organization, and they have a group I think you call the On-Farm Network, right, Brad?
Yep. The On-Farm Network is here to basically make growers more profitable. That's our sole purpose. There's a large demand for production research, and we had the ability to fill a niche to do on-farm research. We do replicated strips on fields all across the state, full-length strips. This is no small plots. This is the real deal.
Farm-size plots.
Farm-size plots. Growers using their own equipment, using their own technology, their precision ag yield monitors and GPS to collect this data.
We participate in it to see products like the Outlook verdict we're trying here. Stuff you just wouldn't normally see. I mean, with the Soybean Association, it's not partial to anybody. You know,
right,
it's
right.
The data is what it is. So
sure. This all had a combination of Outlook and verdict.
Yep.
As part of a residual program, and the main focus of this was to see what we could do with water hemp. Because of the pressure here and being a problem weed for us. And the two rates, remind me, I think it was 5 ounces of verdict, right?
Yep.
And we then spiked an additional 8 ounces of Outlook in there.
Yep.
To give us that residual. And that's grass residual and broadleaf. And for right now, it's looking very good.
Oh, yeah. On the check strips is just Roundup. We treated it with Roundup early, didn't work. Roundup Synchrony, Burnham didn't work, and the last treatment was Roundup Cadet.
And those rates of Roundup on those, you remember? Like
22 ounces of Weather Max the first time, 22 the second time, and 35 the last time.
So the Roundup that you applied to the water hemp, what level of control did you see? I mean, you sprayed it 3 times. You're saying you weren't happy after any application?
Maybe after the Cadet, it burned them off, but they're still
there.
They're still coming back.
They're still there.
We're noticing that they burn off. You can burn every leaf off, the stem stays green, and a new shoot comes out pretty quick. So
this water hemp then is perhaps
Roundup
resistant, which we're seeing a fair amount of that. Really, I think showing up in 2011, it's kind of a epiphany all across the state. Growers are finally seeing populations of water hemp that have blown through glyphosate applications. They're just not being effectively controlled. Now, we did follow this up with our strips again, the residual. We followed up with Headline and Respect insecticide.
Yep.
So we've also got that comparison. Anything you could see different so far in the canopy? Maybe going back to
the using the Cadet burnt the beans, yellowed them up for a couple weeks, and there's just a little height and difference in they're a little shorter where the Cadet's at.
Also, they do a lot of aerial imagery, and we've got some neat images showing up on this.
Well, what we're looking at here is a natural color image. This is an aerial image. This is taken from an airplane. It's not satellite imagery. What we use this for is to show the quality of our data, show the quality of the trial that we have out. In this image, we see a building site in the southeast corner. We can also see some high lines, some electrical lines cutting at an angle across the northeast corner. You can also see our treatments in this field. You can see the darker green areas where, in fact, saw the verdict, the Outlook, the Headline, and the Respect. We use these images for quality control of all of our trials. This is basically the same image. It's a color infrared. It shows the canopy of the crop. The darker red areas are going to be thicker canopy. You can see the thinner canopy where the pink areas are, where most likely the Cadet was, or where it burnt the beans. This color map of this particular trial is a normalized difference vegetative index, or NDVI. Basically, this is showing the reflectance. The green areas are better canopy, better crop. Yellow areas are not quite so good, and the red areas are obviously in the end rows, the high traffic areas, maybe some of the lower areas, you know, the wet spots, so the poorer areas of the field.
Now, it's my understanding you brought some neighbors through this too, and
Yep.
kind of what's the general thoughts, I guess, about outlook and verdict? I mean, this is kind of a program that we put together designed just for water hemp. What's the thoughts of some of the guys maybe you've taken through?
They've been impressed with it. Got a lot of guys convinced to use it next year, and see what I'm overlooking out here on the end. You'll see the weed. There's weeds over in that area. There's not in this area.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what the herbicide was doing. You'll notice coming ahead here, we'll have that, it's just the water hemp just gets sodded in here, where we didn't have it on the other side.
That's all the green and everything?
That's all the green in between the rows. Okay. Is all weeds, so. The treated strips were clean, scattered water hemp here or there. The untreated strips, water hemp in quite a few places was sodded. They're pretty thick, so plants were a little darker with the headline on them, and as they started to mature, noticed a few more pod set on the treated beans, a little darker. As they matured, they just looked a little healthier as the maturity process went along. So it's maybe a combination I would never have tried without the Soybean Association recommended, and it's something we're seriously looking into in the future. So I'd say with the yield bump kind of that we're seeing, I haven't had a chance to process it all, but I think it paid for itself, and then it just overall made the plants healthier. So, but I think the increase in yield will definitely offset any cost with this.